John, hey, congratulations on your new film, Seven Cemeteries.
Yeah, thank you.
You gotta love these type of films because this is like a guilty pleasure film that we like to watch, on a Friday night, especially during the season like this. But we have to hear it from you is where the original idea came from for Seven Cemeteries.
Well, I mean, originally it was just to make a movie with Danny. Danny with the face. And but I just love well, I love Seven Cemeteries. I mean, Seven Samurai. Yeah, it's so funny because when I did the Seven Cemeteries, I tried to make it like sound like Seven Samurai, but it's made with a C. So it's like a little weird, but sounds like it. But yeah, I just love Seven Samurai and Magnificent Seven. That whole thing about helping people and the few fighting the the army and or even if it was like one guy, like Valdez is coming, fighting the bad guys, the army of bad guys, they picked the wrong guy, or in this case, these guys are helping this girl. Um, and they just happen to be, living impaired, so
Absolutely. So Danny was on board. So basically, you made the film all around Danny in the first place, then.
yeah, he was on board from the get-go.
Now, what was it like to work with Danny, and why did you want to work with Danny so badly in this case?
I like Danny. I read his book. I don't know if you know much about him and stuff. He was he was an arch criminal when he was young and an addict, and he has totally changed his life. So I'm not here to espouse any kind of AA type stuff or anything, but whatever he did, it should give everybody else like they can do it too, because he turned his life around from some pretty bad stuff, and then because he'll be telling me something, I go, I know, I read your book. So and I have his cookbook too. So
That is truly admirable. Now, of course, being based on, Seven Samurais or the Magnificent Seven, you have to come up with the six other characters for a film of Seven Cemeteries. Tell us how you guys actually came up and using your creativity to come up with such colorful characters in this case.
okay, so Joel and I kind of worked on the story, but Joel Soisson, who's a director himself and a producer, he actually wrote the script. So, but I just want to say that just give credit where credit's due and everything. But we basically went with the seven samurai because it involves like the leader. Uh, he kind of has a buddy, and in this case, we have them sort of meet, at the Brujas, but then they go out to find the other members of their makeshift army that's gonna, in this case, a few other undead people to fight the bad guys, which is a guy named Sal Lopez. He's so good. I don't know if you know him or not,
I
but
spoke to him before. He is an excellent actor. Yes.
he is a great actor, and he's part of this thing. He has this Latino theater company here in Los Angeles, and he where they try to find burgeoning Latino playwrights, or Latinx or whatever, and he's just a powerhouse. He can say these lines, these when you're the bad guy, it could go two ways. It could be really corny, or it could be really, cool. And he nails it, I thought.
I think so too. So you've done everyone done well for themselves. Could you
Yeah,
tell us about
great.
Could you tell us about the makeup that you put bestowed upon on all your actors? I mean, your makeup artist is sensational on in this project.
Well, Tate, Tate works in a lot of stuff, but he loves horror stuff, but he does, Dragged Across Concrete and all these kind of movies. And he's based out of Oklahoma. We shot this in Oklahoma, and even though we shot it down outside of Oklahoma City, he's up in Tulsa, but he's great. He developed this whole look, this comprehensive look of the undead posse, and and then each actor kind of decided how much they were going to do, because it's very uncomfortable, but it worked out pretty well, I'd say.
I think
I
it
did.
I think it was actually excellent. So, John, let me wrap it up with one last question because I'm a fan of your original horror series, Feast,
Beast.
and obviously a lot of people are, and since then you have done a lot of different horror films. I always ask horror directors like yourself, there's always that debate between practical and CGI. And throughout your entire career, I feel like you've done all of them. Which side of the debate you're on? Because your makeup is practical, but your special effects is CGI in this film. So weigh on
Hmm.
this debate.
Well, okay, so it really depends on the money somewhat. Like I I love practical effects, uh, but partly because when I look, I'm trying to think of a movie that I saw recently. Well, I just watched Edge of Tomorrow the other day. Um, when I do digital stuff, I want it all to look like that. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't always look that way. And if maybe if it did, I would be all in. Um, but I love things that spurt and blow up and all that kind of stuff. Like for us, it's easier to actually do that than it is to have some fantastic ILM digital situation, but we mix it. There's obviously a mix of practical and digital, and I think that's what we try to hit on this one.
And I think you've done well because this is one fun horror movie, and it's funny too. So you've done
Yeah,
well.
and it gets kind of serious every now and then. I can't give it away, I guess. But I was glad. I like when we mix the comedy and then have some kind of serious stuff and then some comedy and that kind of thing. Sentimental stuff. I actually thought this movie was sort of sentimental, and I'm like, I'm the writer, and I am going like, Joel, I think we need schmaltz, a little bit in this kind of movie. I don't see it as a bad thing, I think we kind of needed it, and we tried to do that a little bit. There's a
Oh,
tunnel.
well, we need a film like this for this Halloween season. So, John, thank you very
Yeah,
much for carrying this conversation
thank
with.
you, sir.
Really appreciate it. Bye now.